Welcome to the Modern Woman Warrior Show. I'm Louisa Capt.
And I'm Amber Fight. This is a show created by women for women and is centered on all things personal protection and self-defense.
If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're just coming back, thanks for being here.
If you like what you see and hear, please hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing and it really helps bring our viewers the high quality content you've come to expect from us.
Please take a moment to give us a like and send us a comment. We try to take the time to reply to all of your comments. It's very important to us and to the growth of our channel to hear what our viewers have to say.
Absolutely. By hitting the subscribe button, you're making the commitment to take the first step in learning to defend yourself and your loved ones.
So, if the worst case happens, you can say to yourself and your attacker,
"Wrong woman, wrong day." We are very excited about today's show. We've been promising this for some time now.
That's right. Today we are presenting our side-by-side comparison of our two favorite CCW pistols, the H&K VP9SK and the Walther PDP F-Series. Here are the specifications for both guns.
So first we want to show you that in the studio, the guns are clear and empty magazine for here in the studio. Then we have our Walther that is clear, as you can see, and empty magazine. Here you go, Louisa. As you can see, the guns are very similar in size. The Walther is almost 4 ounces lighter. It might be slightly easier to carry. The H&K has steel luminescent 3-dot sights, which require a sight press to adjust, while the Walther has notch and post 3-dot plastic sights, which can be adjusted with a screw on the side of the sight. Most of the dimensions on the guns are very, very close. The barrel length on the Walther is 3.5 inches and 3.39 inches on the H&K. The magazine release on the Walther is a standard button under the shooter's thumb. The H&K has an ambidextrous paddle system underneath the rear of the trigger guard. You see right here.
The grip diameter on the Walther is 5.125 inches, and on the H&K it is 5.5 inches. The reach from the center of the backstrap to the center of the trigger on the Walther is 3.55 inches, and on the H&K it's 3.5 inches. And the reach from the center of the backstrap on the center of the mag release button is 3.25 inches on the Walther, and of course it doesn't exist on the HK because of the paddles.
Yeah, right here. Yeah,
right.
The concealability factor, which is measured from the bottom of the trigger guard to the bottom of an inserted magazine, is 2.65 inches on the Walther and 2.65 on the H&K, which means they both should be the same to conceal. However, those measurements are based on a 15-round magazine. If you carry the 10-round magazine in the H&K, the concealability number is 1.85, which would make it more concealable than the Walther. The trigger press is 4.25 pounds on the H&K, 3.75 on the Walther. Both guns are striker fired and both have a bladed trigger safety as well as an internal drop safety. And both guns are within about $50 of each other on their list price. The shooting specs on the pistol will be determined in the shooting portion of this video.
So naturally, we're going to follow all of our testing protocols that we've become known for. And that way we can ensure true objectivity. And in fact, we're going to take it a step further than we normally do today. Because Amber's favorite gun on the planet is made by H&K and mine are made by Walther, we thought that a real objective judgment might be a little out of reach.
So we've decided to bring in a highly qualified woman shooter to shoot the drills and give us her objective judgment on which pistol she prefers and why.
It is my pleasure to introduce Captain Heather Hamilton, United States Marine Corps. Heather is a weapons system officer, or WISO, on board an F-18D Hornet. And yes, she is Goose, except her call sign is Colt.
She is the real deal, and here is a brief interview we did with Heather.
So Heather, tell us a little bit about how long you've been shooting.
So I've been shooting since I've been 11 years old. I started shooting competitively, just little .22 rifle. And then from there, kind of did NRA competitions up through high school. Up in college, I started doing like competition 2-gun, 3-gun, and USPSA. And then more recently, I'm in the Marine Corps, so I of course shoot for work. And I just kind of come to the range and shoot competitively in my free time.
Awesome.
So really happy to be here.
That's so great. So how about your journey to become confident to defend yourself? Because it's not just about the gun. What other skills do you have, and why would you have, what made you in your life decide to get extra skills?
So I started out in high school. I took martial arts. My parents kind of forced me to do it, and I didn't really take it seriously. I didn't really think seriously about self-defense until I got to college. I was walking home one night. I lived in a bad area of West Philadelphia, and I ended up getting mugged. He stole my wallet. He stole my phone. and he stole my purse. And from then on, I started carrying pepper spray. I was only 20 years old, so I couldn't carry a handgun at the time. But then as soon as I turned 21, I got my concealed carry permit. I took classes, and I've been concealed carrying ever since. So self-protection is really on you, and unfortunately I had to learn the hard way.
What I always say, it's every woman's responsibility.
Absolutely.
For personal protection.
Yeah, nobody can do it for you, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
We want to thank the wonderful folks at Ransom International for providing us with their Ransom Master Series rest. It allows us to remove the human marksmanship element from testing and just be able to test the gun.
Without the generous cooperation of our friends at Ransom International for providing us with the rest and the grip inserts for each different make and model of the pistol, we would be unable to do the objective comparisons.
That's true.
Because both pistols have been tested in previous videos, cutting the number of shots keeps the protocol intact without taking quite so much time on the video.
Okay guys, so we've been promising this to you for a long time, so here we are today at the range where we're going to battle it out with Walther versus HK. And we have the HK VP9SK, and we have the Walther PDP F-Series, both of which have a 3.5-inch barrel. And we're going to see how they do stacked up against each other. So here we go. We're going to start with the ransom rest, and then we'll do some shooting. And then we're bringing in a unbiased shooter, a lady that's a really good shooter, to shoot both of them, because Amber and I already figured that she's going to pick hers and I'm going to pick mine. So that doesn't really do you guys any good. So here we go. .80. There's the Walther with an average accuracy of a 1-inch spread.
Hey guys, now we switched out the Walther PDP F-Series with the H&K VP9SK to run it through the ransom rest for the accuracy test. So we're about to get started. Eyes and ears. Okay, and this is our last shot. .85.
It's always 18 minutes the last shot.
It's probably side lock, the weight's coming down. And we're clear.
The accuracy of the H&K was an average group of 1.12 inches. Keep in mind, guns shoot various ammunition differently. This is the reason when you are deciding on the ammo for your everyday carry, you need to thoroughly test the ammo for reliability in your particular pistol, as well as accuracy.
Exactly. And in fact, my Walther shot a much tighter group this time with the 80 grain tumblers by Fort Scott munitions than it did with the 124 grain Norma ammunition that we tested before. And Amber's H&K actually shot a somewhat tighter group last time with the Norma than it did this time with the Fort Scott. And that's why when we choose our self-defense ammunition for our EDCs, Amber and I both do the research on terminal ballistics and decide what is the best couple choices for self-defense ammunition. Then we shot between 4 and 5 boxes of the ammo that we chose through our guns before we decided which one we were going to stick with.
Absolutely. With this Fort Scott ammunition, the felt recoil on the Walther averaged about 10% less than it did on the H&K. This really surprised both of us that the H&K, because it's somewhat heavier, and a heavier pistol usually lessens the felt recoil in a pistol. Let's go back to the range as Heather shoots our 3 standard drills.
The first drill is a 10-shot controlled rapid fire to get a feel for the pistol and the trigger.
The drill where she fires 3 shots, performs an emergency reload, and fires 3 more shots is used to test the gun handling of the pistols and the ease and use of all the controls.
And finally, the 2 failure to stop drills are used to test sight acquisition as well as trigger press and trigger reset.
In each of these tests, we will show you Heather's targets.
But before we do, we want to give Chris Walton at Precision Firearms a shout out. Chris provided us with all of the ammunition for these tests that we did. We have been using Fort Scott Munitions 80 grain TUI, which means tumble upon impact, self-defense rounds for all of our testing in this video. Thanks again, Precision Firearms. Thank you.
Okay, let's watch as Heather runs through the first set of drills with each pistol.
Nice shooting, Heather. Now you folks in the audience can appreciate why we asked Heather to be our guest shooter. She is a modern woman warrior in her own right.
With or without the FA-18 fighter jet strapped to her back, she is the real deal.
Let's take a look as Heather does the next drill, the 3-shot emergency reload, first with the Walther and then with the H&K.
Another really good group by Heather with both pistols.
Let's do our final drill, failure to stop. This is 4 shots to the chest and 1 to the head box with the USPSA target. Heather runs this drill twice with each pistol.
So now let's watch as Heather tells Louisa how she scored both of these pistols. She will also tell us why she scored the pistols the way that she did.
Okay, Heather, so now that you've shot both the Walther and the HK and I'm seeing your scoring system for the first time, let's, or your answers to our scoring system, let's go through each one and see what you, tell me a little bit about it. So for feel of gun in hand, you gave Walther a 4 and H&K a 4.
So Walther, I think the ergonomics, it fits really well in your hand. It's very easy to reach all the controls and everything. Honestly, I just thought it felt really good in my hand. It's got a very thin grip, which is really comfortable for me because I have very small hands. And the HK, even though I think the ergonomics of the grip are better on the HK, it just felt very bulky in my hand, if that made sense.
Yeah.
So I gave them both 4s for that, 4 out of 5, because they weren't perfect, but they both had their pros and cons.
Awesome. Okay, trigger reach. You gave both of them a 5.
Honestly, the triggers on both of them were great. I could reach the trigger no problem on both of those.
Great. Quality of sights.
So I gave both of them a 3 for just about middle. They weren't great. They weren't terrible. Plastic sights on handguns are not always great, especially in this market. You can get a lot of like fiber optic sights straight off the production line with a lot of handguns now. So that was definitely a downside. I'm not really a fan of the little white dots.
Oh, so the white dots on the HK, because that does have metal sights.
Yep.
So it was the white dots on the HK and the plastic sights on the Walther. I just want to make it clear. Okay, good. Okay, adjustability of sights. You did a 5 and a 3.
So the HK, you would have to take to a professional gun store to get your pistol sights resighted in. And the Walther, literally, it's just like a little eyeglass screwdriver, super easy. You could do it here at the range.
Great. Strength to rack the slide. You gave them both a 4.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything too difficult or too easy about both of them. It was just very
Good.
easy.
Okay. Size and ease of use of the controls.
So for me, the Walther had a very easy to grip slide lock. I could release the slide very easily, and then I could also release the magazine really easily. Like, I have small hands, it was perfect, dropped right out, and then it was very easy to one-handed put the slide forward and into battery. For the HK, the slide lock was very small, so I had to kind of like dig my thumb in there to get the slide to go back into battery. And then also the magazine release is very far forward. So for me, with small hands, I had either reach my thumb all around the grip and depress the mag release, which is obviously messes up my hand placement, or I had to take my trigger finger off the trigger and use my trigger finger, which was very uncomfortable for me.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. And then serrations of the slide. The serrations on the slide. You gave them both 5s.
Yeah.
So you liked them both. Okay.
Both of them were, again, it goes kind of back to the strength of racking the slide.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them had very good control for
Okay, and fit and finish on the gun, you gave them both a 5.
Yeah, they both fit very nicely. It kind of goes into the feel of the gun in the hand. I did like the Walther a little bit more, but for the ergonomics, they're both great.
Okay, great. And then quality of the trigger. You did a 5 on the Walther and a 4 on the HK.
You can't beat the Walther trigger.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
It
The
is.
HK trigger is also very nice, but the Walther, the reset when I was doing the rapid fire, it was just so easy to get a sight picture after that first round.
Yeah,
So Walther definitely won the day on that one.
Okay, and then so you ended up with 41 for Walther and 36 for HK. Really very close.
Very close.
Honestly, so overall rating on the gun, you gave the Walther a 95 and the HK an 80. So tell me, if you were to have somebody, would you recommend both of these guns for women with concealed carry, for concealability and for just for the use of the gun or whatever? Would you recommend both of them?
I would definitely recommend the Walther PDP over the HK just because of the slide lock and the magazine release are both crucially important parts of being able to manipulate your handgun, and the Walther just makes that so easy. The HK is a little bit not, how do I say this? It's not intuitive.
Okay. Okay. That's great. Heather, thank you so very, very much.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
We're so glad that you came, and we can't wait to have you back.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for coming and doing this with us, Heather. Again, comparing two pistols that are pretty equal in size and price, but have different controls on them. Heather chose the one that she liked best, but it really comes down to personal preference and what feels best in your hands and what you shoot the best. The reality is you simply cannot go wrong with either of these two pistols. They are both top flight offerings from two of the finest firearms manufacturers in the world. We really appreciate your help, Heather.
We do. All of you warrior women should go out and try both of these pistols if you get a chance to. They're really awesome.
Absolutely true. I would like to take another moment to thank both Precision Firearms and Ransom International for their continued support of our channel. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
If you like what you saw here today, please give us a like and drop us a comment.
See you next Tuesday. Bye.